We all had digestive issues at some point in our life, but how do you know that those symptoms are not just something bad that you ate? I recently got to sit down with world-renowned NYU researcher Dr. Rossini Raj to find out how to read those symptoms and also how to eat a bit better.
One of the most kind of startling advances in medicine in the last decade or two has really been the whole idea of the microbiome and how our bacteria in our body, and specifically in our gut, really dictate so much of what's going on in our bodies, even beyond the GI tract. But what I think is even more fascinating is the connection between different gut flora and different bacteria and how it can affect things like overall body inflammation, even things like personality or anxiety or depression. You know, there's some really interesting studies coming out on the kind of far-flung effects of your bacteria and how what we do to that bacteria can really affect our overall health. So to me, that has been really a kind of a shift in the entire way we think about medicine, which that does not happen very often. I do think that technology and medical research is kind of growing at a very upward curve, and yeah, I think there will certainly be things that we have to deal with that our children or grandchildren won't.
But the question is, what do we do today until technology will solve all our problems?
One of the biggest misconceptions is while we often experience, occasional indigestion or stomach upset if we're overindulging with certain foods, that's not something that you should be living with frequently, or if it's a recurrent issue, it's not something that should be ignored. It is really something you should discuss with your doctor because these symptoms could be a sign of an underlying condition such as EPI. We're now learning that so much of your overall health is kind of determined or starts in the gut, so it is really important to pay attention to any kind of unusual symptoms, new symptoms, or recurrent or frequent symptoms, and seek attention for it.
How do we not get confused about the symptoms?
Well, there are definitely certain GI conditions, many of them really, where they sort of feel like this is normal for them. The symptoms that they're experiencing, they don't get medical attention or they don't investigate it. They go many years without getting the correct diagnosis. The pancreas, one of its jobs is to produce insulin, and that's what we call the endocrine function of the pancreas. But the exocrine function is these digestive enzymes. But it is true that people with diabetes and other conditions that can affect the pancreas, such as chronic pancreatitis or cystic fibrosis, they may be more likely to have a condition like EPI. Speak to your doctor. If you're having recurrent or frequent GI symptoms, talk to your doctor so they can do some investigations and really get to the bottom of the problem, because many of these GI conditions can be managed very effectively.
As barbecue season is here, what can we do to eat a bit healthier?
Barbecue season, where people are eating a lot of sometimes unhealthy foods, greasy foods, it's certainly a time where you may get a little indigestion. If you are feeling it more frequently, do talk to your doctor, be evaluated. But there are some overall tips that I can suggest. First of all, you don't want to go to one of these gatherings starving. So don't fast before you go to the feast. Make sure you do have some kind of healthy snack, something in your stomach before you go, because otherwise you are more likely to indulge in the unhealthy foods and ultimately not feel well.
If there's one thing that I took away from my conversation with Dr. Raj, it is don't procrastinate when it comes to your health. If you feel something is wrong, go see a doctor. For California Life, I'm Ron Jacobson in New York.